Welcome to Reality After Show coverage of The Challenge, Season 40. Tonight we're talking, I think it's episode 11, 10, 11, pretty sure it's 11. I'm your host, Dan Montchal, joined, as always, Alex Trias, Paulie Calafiore. All good. But so we look at this week, episode 11, as well as, I guess, going into last week. And I don't know how you start anywhere other than Johnny Bananas. And I feel like we do one of the best jobs of keeping it real. We're not there to butter his balls up because that's what he has his own podcast for. But we're not also one of the people that just hate on him because they don't like him. We keep it pretty straight. But when he came out before Ryder dies, he's coming back as Captain Save a Show. It's like you came back and you really didn't do much. Maybe he was just a prophet and he's saying this is going to happen in the future because what we've seen the past two episodes, this is Captain Save a Show.
I agree. I think he found himself in a position where maybe some of the people that could have helped him out in the entertainment department left early, right? You got me gone, you got Amanda gone. Let's see, who else could have potentially been a pop-off? Katie, you never know. She could have turned into a Spitfire. We'll never know because we haven't really seen, much of her.
Yeah.
Nerys, for sure. A pop-off queen, gone too early. So I think Johnny, in his own way, was sitting there and was kind of like, all right, nobody else is doing anything. And it's up to me to kind of like do something. So he definitely started stirring the pot when it came to Devin and Michelle, and kind of put himself in a position to be in between Tori and that side of the house. And he just continued to do it this episode. And, Olivia was just like a fish out of water with trying to have a conversation with him.
Yeah, it just, you could see the levels to this. You could see the people who are just a couple seasons in versus someone who's been there, done that, been the face of the show, been a background guy. But, like, Bananas just does it all. And it's just been so refreshing to see this version of him again. And, like, maybe it's the format change. Maybe it's him knowing that it's, like, well, when you have someone like Jordan here, when you know you can only have a list of 3 to 4 people, only so many people are going to choose you. So you might as well amp it up more and just really get it going and just be like, hey, I'm going to draw these lines. It's an old school fashion. And I loved how much he was bringing that up. He's like, look, I tell it how it is. I show where my cards are. Like, my people show where their cards are. It's all of you who are from this era 3, era 4, who want to hide in the shadows and still be friends with everybody. But in this format, this current thing that we're playing, you can't be friends with everyone and protect everyone.
I think the way that the format's going, it's working for him perfectly because where you can really only protect 3 or 4, he can really go all in because he knows he has the 3 or 4 that he's protected. It's well known. So why not just attack everyone who isn't and try and blow up everyone else's game? So we're getting the entertainment factor, but I think he's the one that's also realized, hey, because no one else is, I'm sure people realize it, but they're not calling it out. I'm going to start weaponizing this and using it to my advantage.
Well, it's something funny because, like, if we talk about specifically, like, the bar scene where, like, Paulie was highlighting, like, the conversation between him and Olivia and how Bananas used that opportunity to then just make it, 1, all about him, and 2, really highlighting what he wanted to highlight and have control. And you see everyone in confession be like, Bananas does this all the time. Why did we let him do it? And it's like, you are all saying it afterwards, like, oh, he always does this, we shouldn't let it get to him. But in the moment, you all feed into it. You all let him have the narrative that he wants to have. And ultimately, what he wanted to happen, in theory, happens because he has all these people that he put into elimination or in the threat of elimination, now doubting people within their own circle.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I'll push back on is when he says, I always show my cards. He doesn't.
He doesn't.
Like, he doesn't always show his cards. He waits until it's an opportune moment in the game to show his cards. So, like, it's individual now. He basically looks at the writing on the wall and says, well, I am kind of protected by majority of the girls who could potentially win a daily, with the exception of Tori. So I will take my chances, right? So the line's in the sand. I'm going to, do that on the guy's side of things. He's really looking at it in a sense of like, okay, Jordan can beat me in a daily. Kylan could beat me in a daily. Am I really at risk of anybody else beating me at a daily and putting me in, right? Which is why you saw him kind of take the shot Jordan's way, because he's trying to put Jordan on everybody's radar, and that's exactly how he does it. In that exact fashion. Like, Jordan was not involved in the argument, was not involved in the fight at all. He was sitting there with his bare ass feet on a table, just chilling, and Jonny just like threw strays at him. But that is a textbook Johnny Bananas play. I'm in an altercation right now with somebody. Now I'm going to take this opportunity to throw my daggers where they need to be.
Right. And then you also, it sort of re-ingrains the people that you want in your circle as well. Even though it's like not, it's the opposite sex. Like, it's all like the Bananas Angels of it all. In theory, they see him blowing up at all these other people. They're like, okay, well, no matter what, we're always going to be the highest on his totem pole. Whenever he gets thrown down in elimination by the other group, he's always going to pick the other group before he picks any of us.
100%. It was brilliant gameplay by Bananas. 100%. You got to give him credit there.
Mm-hmm.
It was brilliant gameplay, and this is really just where Johnny's in his best element, because it isn't just that he's able to stir the pot here and stir up some shit, but all eyes are on him, all attention's on him, and that's when he thrives. Like, it's me, 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 me. You're giving me this attention. Now look what I'm going to do with it.
Yeah, absolutely. And then to counter it, in a weird way, I felt like this could have the potential to be like that ultimate wake-up call for a player like Michelle, who, like, we've said on the podcast for the past few weeks, like, she puts her heart, it's sort of like Josh, puts their heart a little too much into it, plays it more as a friend game, like that friend social game that will get you so far in a game. But I feel like this was the ultimate wake-up call of like, oh, even if I'm friends with someone like a Bananas, if he doesn't see me useful to his game, he has no concerns about throwing me under the bus and putting me in a spot to gaslight me, to make me feel small, to put me out of my game and send me out.
I mean, Michelle also needs to realize that this is the challenge, right? Just because, like, when she used this episode to kind of be like, you kick me when I'm down, blah, 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 all these things, it's like, yeah, that's the challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that literally is the challenge. Like, if somebody smells weakness, they are going to kick you while you're down. They are going to especially do this. Plus, also, like, there's a war going on right now, and the house is divided. So, like, now's not the time to go to the other side and be like, hey, man, like, you're kicking me when I'm down. Like, it's like, yeah. Like, the only thing I could think of is, like, when the other side tried to come to me on War of the Worlds 2, and I laughed in their face, and I was like, no. The time to feel bad for each other is not now. Like, we can talk about it after the game is over, and especially, like, going to somebody like Johnny. Like, Johnny's a veteran player. He's never, ever, ever going to sit there and be like, oh, hold on, I'm getting this sob story right now. Like, let me ease up a little bit. Like, that's not in his nature at all. When he plays the game, he plays very simply. Do you owe me something? Do I owe you something? That's the only time that, like, tugging at his heartstrings is ever going to, like, do anything. If it's like, hey, dude, you owe me, then yeah, he might be like, all right, yeah, you're right. I do owe you. And as long as it's not, like, ruining his chances to get to a final or win a final, he'll give you payback. But at this point, he doesn't really owe Michelle anything. And, he's drawn his line in the sand. So there's no favors owed to that side. And vice versa, there's no favors owed to him. So, like, them not kind of locking themselves in now, although I do feel as though Tori is locking herself in. It's just, I mean, come on. Michelle, you're going to have to win dailies at this point to keep yourself safe. Olivia, you're going to have to win dailies in order to keep yourself safe. And I think that Johnny knows that they're not capable of that.
Right.
No, and I think there's a lot of things that Michelle did this episode that I thought were really good, but this whole coming in and, she's learning how to play the game, with the vets or whatever. Well, it's hypocritical bullshit, because what did she do to Nerys, Kylan, and Horacio last season? Exactly what Johnny's kind of doing to her. So, as much as I do think she did a lot of good things in this episode, this is just the shoes being on the other foot this game, where the game's not wrapped around her finger like it was in 39.
And I think that's what makes this show. This is when the show becomes great, and it becomes the show that people like, is that constant back and forth. The people, like, Jordan talks about, like, Bananas for seasons now has been able to ride off of just the notoriety of his name, people fearing going against him, and so he will just ingrain himself within you until he can get to the finals, similar to what Jordan's doing now. But Jordan's doing it more effectively because he's not allowing himself to get emotionally charged by Bananas' outburst towards him. But all of that to say is just like, this is what makes great TV. Like, I love seeing people have to get on their back foot. Bananas is now playing a game where he's semi on his back foot because he knows half this house is constantly going to target him. And now this other side feels the same way. Like, Tori knows, I need to keep winning because if I'm going to keep sending Bananas down, one of these times I'm not going to win and he's going to put me in elimination.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, for Michelle to say she's learning how to play the game, like, she's done 5 seasons.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you know how to play the game at this point. Like, let's just throw that out there. I think the reason why Bananas' game that Jordan essentially is playing this time around is working for him is because this is really the first time we've ever seen Jordan play that kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Whereas, like, we're used to seeing Johnny play that way, which is why he's kind of changing it up a little bit and being a little bit more heightened. But the line's drawn in the sand. I'm enjoying watching it. Like, the past 2 episodes for me have been phenomenal episodes. I've loved every single second of it.
I agree. It's been so much fun. The pace change has been sorely needed. Like, I almost wish they started this like an episode sooner, just because this version for now is very fun. And obviously next week we have the other twist of the Purge coming into play, which, so, like, we could potentially be losing 3 people next episode at the most. So I think they are playing with themselves, like, a little here with production, just being like, let's throw all these strings at the wall and to create this heightened drama. And Bananas is helping that cause by creating the political drama of it all.
It's going back to a more old school type of show where, I mean, both dailies last week and this week, I've enjoyed both of them, but they're relatively straightforward. Both the eliminations kind of has sucked as far as watching on TV, but that wasn't what the episodes have been about. It's been built around the characters and the drama of the show, and that's ultimately what we want. Sure, we love seeing the challenges and, some of the competition aspect, but we also need that drama and reality aspect of it, that it feels like it's finally back, and seeing it 2 weeks in a row, it's giving me hope again that this could be consistency moving forward, not just like the past handful of seasons where we got to the midway point of the game and it just stalled out.
Oh, yeah.
Where here it seems like we got to the midway point of the game and we're starting to take off.
Look, we got to the midpoint of this game and they decided to give Jenny some heat in confessional. Like, Jenny actually decided to not be in the background this episode and just, like, be like, hey, I want power. Y'all kept putting me in. I'm fucking pissed at all of you. I don't care that y'all are going against each other. I'm going to make this about me for a moment. Like, I loved
very
it.
True. I was happy to see Jenny a little spicy.
Mm-hmm. I like, truly, this dynamic is helping flesh out some of these people that have been, for the most part of the season, background characters. And now it's allowing some opportunity for more drama to come in because so many people have to be picked out of a small pool, because anyone could win, because it's a lot more individual. So it's very interesting seeing now people get more fleshed out characters.
So one of the things that I know we've mentioned quite a bit was we want some good dailies via, War of the World seasons, where we got some great dailies for it. Paulie, what was your opinion on this daily? Because I thought it was pretty good.
I liked this daily. This was a really fun daily to watch. It was a really fun daily. I think for like the whole cast, I think it's one of those things where it is pretty straightforward as to like who for the most part, know is going to do well and not well. I think the only person that I was surprised that didn't do well was Cara.
Yeah. Yeah, because
Yeah.
I was watching social media before the episode started, and Cara's like, sorry, I'm gonna be a little late. This is what I'm having to do instead, is her climbing the movable rock wall. I was like, oh, so she's gonna kill it this episode.
Yeah.
And they're all hyping her up, like, oh, she's gonna kill it. And it was just like, I think really it was just like a mental lapse as she was going up, and she just picked the pathway that just didn't work for her.
Yeah, I mean, I think Cara is very much the, why you wind her up and then set her off. You know what I mean? And then she's fine. And I think she realized that rock climbing is a little bit more strategy than just like, oh, I see things, I'm gonna climb things. But yeah, I mean, listen, that's an easy mistake to make if you're not on, rock climbing things in a little bit. Like, you need to know where your feet are gonna go, right? Because you can't just rely on your upper body in the rock climbing stuff. But yeah, other than Cara kind of not doing well, I'd say like everybody who did well, you're like, I expect that. Everybody who didn't do well, you're also like, I also expect that.
I'll give a shout out to Aviv, because I think Johnny's the one that said it in the episode that she's like 3 feet tall. Her being able to do all that, I thought was pretty impressive, especially when she's someone that we unfortunately just haven't seen much this season.
We haven't seen much of her, but like whenever we do, like, I'm always impressed by her. But like, she's fit. Like, it's not like, oh, she's just tiny. Like, she's tiny but fit. Like, she knows what she's doing. She like, I believe with some of her background, like, this, a lot of this is within her wheelhouse. So it was just cool seeing her just go to work. I'm nervous about the plantar fasciitis of it all. I think that's a red herring for next week. I think she'll be fine in this mini final, even though she's saying that her foot hurts. A lot of athletes have this, and they're able to last a long time before anything like serious needs to be done about it. So I just want to give her flowers there. She's killing it.
I mean, first of all, she's barely 5 foot. So,
yeah.
So that is really impressive. As far as like the plantar fasciitis goes, that's just, I mean, that's not even a real injury. You know what I mean? That's like a soreness. Yeah. You got a tight bottom of the foot. But I think she'll be more than fine next week, because realistically, she is probably one of the most fit girls still in the house. As far as like cardio level, like pound for pound strength, like that's all her.
Yeah, and from her fresh meat season, a big reason why her and Darrell win, outside just Darrell being a beast, was like she was very good at all the puzzle parts of the final. So like between that and her cardio looks good, her fitness looks good, if her puzzle skills are good too, like I feel like she's actually gonna be one of the contenders to do very well next week.
Yeah, I feel like most people did well, minus, talked about Cara, the ladies of leisure, and Theo.
I mean, they were called the LOLs for a reason this episode.
Dude, Theo's kind of pissed me off this season. I'm not gonna lie. he's pissing me off because like I sat here and I'm like, all right, dude, like you hunted me down, you beat me, congratulations, you got that win off your chest. And he has done literally nothing since then. He has not performed in any of the dailies at all. And he's been an absolute non-factor in the game when it comes to entertainment. And, I really, like, I'm sitting here being like, yo, I want Theo to win, because then I could sit there and be like, well, I got eliminated to the champ. But It's really not looking good for my guy here. He does not look like War of the Worlds 1 and War of the Worlds 2 Theo. It almost makes me feel like Hall Brawl was the only thing that he possibly could have won this season, and like that's it. So I and the thing is, it's not like he can't rock climb. You know what I mean? Like, he definitely can rock climb. Like, I've seen him do crazy things. So that was definitely in his wheelhouse, but he's just kind of, he's only feeding into the fact that Fessie's watching his every move now and just like clocking him. I mean, we got two pieces of furniture fighting. We got a futon and we got a
pull out couch.
I don't even know, dude. Theo clearly doesn't pull out. He's a father. You know what I mean? But we got two pieces of furniture arguing on Twitter, and it's just going to be really funny if there is ever a time where they're on a season together. I personally will stir that pot all day, and when one of them does better than the other, and when the other one does better than the other, I will go to them and just be like, "Wow, man! Like, you really did way better than so and so. You should probably let them know." Because it would just be too easy at this point to wind them up.
Yeah, but it's also interesting because like when Theo was successful, it was also just like a different body type for him.
Yes.
Like he was in track athlete mode, like that lean, like it's not skinny, but like lean muscle, which is what I always thought that's the ideal like physique of a challenger, especially when you're prepping for a final, where it feels like he's sort of going against that entirely this season where he's like continuously bulking up. And I don't know to what end, like if that's just what he's doing right now is wants to be big, but like, I don't feel like that's going to be productive for him in a challenge world. And I have concerns for him for next week. I think it's like hand on the Bible, it's like he's probably the one getting purged next week.
Yeah, I mean, Ryan's gone. I'm looking at Theo like he is potentially the worst equipped for a mini final right now out of all the men. And the crazy thing is, it's like, what has he been doing? Because like everybody has visibly lost weight, other than him and Laurel. And it's
he's in the kitchen
cultivating mass.
But are they going outside at all? Like, are they? All you would need to do realistically is just go outside and run for 30 minutes every day. Or just go and stand outside for 30 minutes. There was a sauna out there in Vietnam. You know what I mean? Like, it didn't take much to lose weight out there. So the fact that he's, like, gaining weight, like, you had to actively just only be inside and be eating as much as possible.
And he's been disappointing not just from the physical aspect, but it isn't like he's not getting moments for the drama. I mean, Paulie, we saw more fire and spiciness out of you in Final Reckoning when you had just met Kara than what he could have showed to Bananas for calling his girlfriend a pet snake.
Yeah, like, dude, first of all, you're sitting there just standing there as your girl's like fighting her own battle, dude. Like, you don't step in and say something. You don't step in and say anything.
Well, you have to get it though. He can't give full trust in anyone. He can't even give full trust in his nana. It's like I always have this 1% because they're gonna betray me. Like, dude, like, stand up. Yeah,
like, don't look weak in front of the girl.
I'm sorry.
Right, Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, is he only able to get amped up because of you? Are you once again just like this catalyst where like he's gonna be chill to everyone else, even in confessional, but for you,
yeah,
he ramps up.
Out of people. I just bring that out of people because the thing is, whether you could trust Olivia or not, right? Like clearly they're still making it work at this point in life, but at that point, whether you trust her or not, it's more of a thing of like, do I trust her at this point? I don't know, but everybody knows that I'm clearly hooking up with her at this point, and this guy's disrespecting her in front of not just me, but everybody. And I'm not saying a word, which makes me kind of look like bitch.
Yeah, like,
and it's not like he's on the banana boat.
Kylan gave more to Bananas at the beginning of the episode. It's like Kylan really went to Bananas like, I'm sorry, but are you dumb? Like, for putting Naya in. And like, you have Theo just like, yeah, man, but it was also not cool that you put Olivia in. Like, come on. Like, Kylan and Naya aren't even together. They weren't even together, like, after the show ended and stopped filming. Like,
yeah.
Where are you?
It's like do something, Theo. Like, give us something, man. Like, give us anything to latch onto. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. You're a dad now, so I understand you want to set a good example back home, which is great. It's great, but it's not a bad example to like be like, hey, man, if somebody's messing with your woman, step up for him. You know?
Truly. Just like show that you actually have like some energy for this game at the very least. Just be like, yo.
Especially when he was on Twitter for years begging to come back, like literally begging to come back. And we've seen him back now for 2 seasons since, it's so unfortunate what happened to his eye. But he's back, and we've given you 2 chances now with World Championships and now this. And this isn't the Theo that we thought we were getting coming off of War of the Worlds.
Yeah, War of the Worlds 1 and War of the Worlds 2, he definitely had some staying power. But once again, I was a pretty big catalyst, especially on War of the Worlds 2. And War of the Worlds 1, I think, because he was kind of attached to mine and Kara's drama, like with everything going on in the house, like he got pulled into that as well, So I don't know. I just think he needs to step it up.
I do love though the comedy of production going. We're gonna speed up everyone else coming down the Tarzan rope. We're slowing it down for Theo. Like, we want you all to just realize how much this man is flopping.
Yeah, they once they start giving you the Josh edit, you're in trouble.
Yeah, like look, Josh got the high. Josh might be Theo's biggest fan because he's like. He's the one who gets to get made fun of now. Like I at least got myself in shape. I can do decent in the dailies now. Not winning them, but
just hanging in the middle of the pack, which is better than his normal showing. So
exactly,
credit there, Josh. I mean, Theo definitely might be the new Josh.
He might be the new Josh.
The only thing is he can win hall brawls. That's about it.
There you go.
Doesn't cry as much, but there's the trade-off.
Doesn't cry as much.
But I will say, every single episode, performance-wise, now a little more TV. I think Tori's continuing to prove Paulie's preseason thing of her, like, she's making a stronger and stronger case of being a Mount Rushmore woman of the challenge. Because Kara's right. Like, while, yes, Tori's career on paper has been highly successful of, like, just constantly going deep into the games, getting to finals, has a win now, but, like, the Tori 6 years ago would get crushed by the Tori now. It's like Tori now is just so much of a well-rounded player, competitively. Like, she's so much better at puzzles now than she used to be. She has the endurance, she has the strength, she has the mindset for it. Every single daily she's going to kill it, and I don't see many where she's not going to be at least second in.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And the thing is, when you talk about, like, female GOATs and female Mount Rushmores, right, there's not really that much separation between somebody with 1 win and a girl that has the most wins, right? I think the most wins is 3.
Yeah, there's 2 with Veronica, Evelyn. I think they're the only 2 tied with 3. There may be one other.
The point is, there's not that much separation, right? So anybody on the girls' side that has 1 win has to do is get 2 wins, and you're in the GOAT talk, right? Mm-hmm. If you got 3 wins, you basically solidified yourself in the GOAT talk. But anywhere from 1 to 2 wins, you're in the discussion. It's not like on the men's side where it's like you have 1 win, you're in a category with a ton of other people. And even if you get 2 wins, you're still not in a category outside of many people. Even at 3 wins, you're still kind of like, all right, you're good. But, Darrell's got his 4 wins. CT's got his 5 wins. Bananas has his 7 wins, right? Like, Jordan has his 4 wins at this point. So realistically, on the men's side, the GOAT conversation is kind of all sealed up. Right? Somebody would have to get 5 wins. And, I don't see Darrell getting 5 wins anytime soon. I don't see Derek K going from 3 wins to 5 wins anytime soon. So the only thing that's happening on the men's side is either Johnny's getting more wins, CT's getting more wins, or Jordan's getting more wins. You know, even if I mounted a crazy 3-season comeback and won 3 in a row back to back to back, that still doesn't even put me in the conversation of GOATs, which shows you how hard it is on the men's side to be considered a GOAT, right? On the female side, I think Tori's definitely locking herself in that 4th spot.
What Tori's doing this season, and I don't even think she has to win the season, but as long as she makes a good run at it, it's incredibly impressive because she's taken a lot of shit from the fans, from former contestants, a lot of people over the past several years. And I'll say rightfully so, because she hasn't been entertaining and a lot of things haven't been a good look. But she's come in here and she's answered the question, the bell of, well, yeah, but where's the real competition? You can't deny that the competition side, especially on the female side, is stacked. And she's one of the few standouts. If she isn't the best performing woman at this part in the season, she's top 2. Yeah, she's doing that, and she's finally going against the grain, willing to create a little bit of drama. So what Tori's doing this season is she's sealing herself as the female face of the challenge, whether you like it or not. I don't think you can take that away from her.
You can't. And she also, case in point to what I was talking about, like the Michelles and Joshes of the world, like, she and Bananas are fighting in this game. Within the last 2 weeks, I've seen her and Bananas doing stuff together off the show. Like, it's not impossible to be against each other in a game and be pissed off at each other in a game and then after the game, figure shit out. Like, don't be just a production pet of like, yes, I'm going to say all the lines that you want me to say because I want to be the face. Like, now I think she's finally getting to the mindset of, no, I am one of the faces, and I can go and move how I need to move. Because I think the win for her this season is what she actually desires. Whereas other seasons, I've debated how much she's actually wanted to win.
Agreed. You can tell she definitely wants to prove a point this season.
It's Jonny Fairplay, reality TV icon, Survivor Hall of Famer, and I'm talking today about Work Money. Work Money is a non-profit organization that focuses on lowering costs and raising incomes for all Americans to make American life more affordable and American families more economically secure. They provide products, services, perks, benefits, tips, and tools to help members improve their financial lives. It's time to level up and make more money in this economy. We're talking getting rich. Now, this sweepstakes is giving away $50,000. You can use this to pay your rent, your mortgage. Imagine what you can do with all the money that you'll save. Now, this is put on by Work Money, and this site has all these sick benefits, and it's free. Go sign up right now and get more rich. Now, listen, you can change your life. Now, what would you do if you didn't have to pay your rent or mortgage for a year? Listen, sign up right now for free. A link is available right here in the show notes. Check them out. Personally, I'd get more pinball machines. I'm Jonny Fairplay. I wouldn't lie about that. It's Work Money. More money.
Yeah, it's what we're seeing from her is great. Where I think her biggest competition is, and we gave her a lot of praise last week, it's going back to Rachel. Because Rachel then having that conversation with Corey and Nehemiah, I don't see how she's getting touched anytime pre-final. And once she gets to the final, she's not a shoo-in for it, but she's a favorite.
You were reading my mind, Dan, because she was the next person I wanted to bring up. Because as much as we're highlighting how great of a game Jordan's playing, even here, there was a little bit of a weakness because there were people that were willing to put him in, especially after the bananas of it all. Rachel is now, her losing her entire era was like the blessing in disguise for her game because it allowed her to have like a solo game. She made a big move. She threw the grenade and she didn't even need to get the blame for it. Johnny got the blame for it. So now Bananas is out here
Casey into retirement.
Yeah, send Casey into retirement. Potentially putting Tori into a break, who knows? But it's like she now is getting to use that political part of her game where she also doesn't have to worry about other people anymore. Like, when Tina's in the game, she's always going to be thinking about Tina and how to keep Tina together. Same if Veronica was here. Like, she wants her mean girls together. Her isolated now, she gets to solely focus on the only people that matter to me are the men. How many of these men will say my name? And she is doing such a great job of essentially zeroing that out.
You know, it really does. It would kind of suck if all of a sudden, now that Tori's been activated and entertaining again, which is the first time she's been entertaining since War of the Worlds 2, she decides to take a break just because she's like at odds with some people.
I would hate it.
I get it. Everybody has their, real life, and I'm sure she has, her reasons in her real life, things that she wants to get done in her real life, to kind of get going with everything. But, I've enjoyed it at this point where I'm like, just as you get entertaining, you're going to take a break. Come on.
All I'm saying is she takes a break, she better come back with this same energy.
I hope she does. I hope she doesn't come back very peaceful.
No, I mean, I think there's a lot of stuff that we could see in a potential season 41 because we saw 40 people come in for season 40. They're not going to have 40 people come back for 41. It's going to be a smaller cast. So if you can just pick the big storylines and try to run some of them back for 41, you already have a lot of that built-in animosity and storylines.
Yeah, but it seems, I don't know. Word on the street is a lot of the heavy hitter females all taking breaks.
Ooh.
Yeah, a lot of heavy hitter females taking breaks. So, it seems like the men are going to have to carry on 41, which,
man.
It's a tall task, but I'm sure some people can deliver.
I'm sure some could, but Buta Murray, open up, get the Brinks trucks out, get some of these women in too. Like, please, give them what they need.
Just smooth them over. Try and make it worth their while. I would like to see some of the stories play out for some of them. From what I'm hearing, a lot of the heavy hitters are kind of saying, need to take some breaks.
My biggest fear with it is bring them back because I don't want these storylines to be completely resolved off the show. Like, we pretty much skimmed over the Nerissa and Olivia doll. And Kylan, don't get me started with him.
Oh, yeah. How about the fact that Kylan and Michelle are number ones in this game?
And he protected Olivia, the one that screwed him over last season.
But Kylan, he needed his boo thing to still be in the game.
You want to be... Kylan wants the TV time. He wants to be a staple. Here's your moment. Your moment was given you on a silver platter right there to go, actually, Olivia, you thought Michelle was safe. No. I'm still not what happened last season. At the elimination, when they go down, send her in when she thinks she's safe. There's your moment. Kylan guarantees he keeps coming back if he has a moment like that.
But that was also the same thing that they should have done to Jonny last week. These people just like to be too truthful, I feel. And that's also the crux of all this. Everyone's blaming Jonny for what happened here and all this escalation. Just everyone remember, the first action that causes Bananas to even think about messing with, Michelle's head about it, with her and Devin, is Devin approaching him and essentially saying, by the halfway point of the game, I will be targeting you. But we are
Alex,
good until
we touched on that last week. Paulie heard some different... Yeah. Paulie, I'm not sure if you want to repeat it because we established that the truth was somewhere in the middle, but that wasn't entirely what you heard.
In terms of...
The Devin Bananas conversation of...
Yeah.
From Devin's point of view.
I think from Devin's point of view, once again, the truth is somewhere in the middle of what Devin and Bananas said. Mm-hmm. However, I feel like it's heavily leaning towards Devin's point of view being the correct point of view in terms of how that whole situation played itself out, right? And the only reason why I say that is because Jonny said the same thing in the beginning of USA 2. I don't even want to be here. I got too much stuff at home, going on. And then he makes the final. You know what I mean? Here he is, allegedly saying the same thing. Doesn't look like he's slowing down anytime soon. It doesn't look like he's in a hurry to go home right now.
No.
Right? So if I was a betting man, knowing these two guys, hearing both of the stories, and also adding in like my little knowledge on the thing, I would put my money on Devin's story over Bananas, because here we are, No,
that's fair. That's fair. But also, just future note to everyone who plays the game of Bananas in the future: don't buy it. Or buy it and just put them in immediately.
Yeah, listen. I mean, there is not a single person that I would ever believe if they came into a season and said, I need to go home early. Like, especially the older people. Like, the older people, I'd sit there and I'd be like, yeah, no, that's a lie. Like, that's 100% a lie. Like, you're not pulling this one over on me. And especially, 7-time champ, definitely not pulling one over on me.
Yeah.
We all know you want the 8th. We know you want the 8th because we know that Jordan's name is more and more being kind of brought up as like the GOAT aspect. And if he wins this season, everybody's saying that he would be the GOAT. Right? Because that would put him at 5 wins. CT's won more recently. That basically puts him at winning more recently. And he's won more in less time. So we all know that Jonny wants the 8th one to basically remove all doubt, right? Because Jordan's still young enough where, let's say he pulls off this win and takes off, 4 years. He could come back and go 3 for 3 or 4 for 4 and really blow the record out of the water, right? So, Jonny wants that 8th win to kind of solidify himself a little bit and give him a little bit more distance from Jordan.
Look, and for Banana's sake, you don't have to be Jordan. Let Jordan be Michael Jordan. There's no issue with being Bill Russell. There's no issue with being Tom Brady. Y'all can be separate types of GOATs.
Yeah. And I feel like that's a great analogy. I feel like Bananas would be like the Bill Russell.
Yeah.
Where he's got more championships than Jordan, but everybody's like, nah, but Jordan's the best.
Well, he wants that 8th one because Jordan's name has come up more recently. When CT went from 3 to 5, there was a lot of building momentum for CT's the GOAT buzz. And we saw some of, Bananas propaganda to kind of shoot that down, despite the fact that it's still lingering out there. And so if he has not just one, but 2 other people encroaching in on his GOAT status, I think it's driving him more and more as I got to get to 8. That way I can say, hey, I'm 3 ahead. You can't make that argument. And in a season where if it would be 40, if Bananas could pull it off right here, I beat both of you when you're saying that it's not CT, but CT coming off of winning the last 2 appearances he was on. Jordan coming at still being at his prime. That this is the one where if Bananas could pull it off here, not only gets number 8 that puts that separation distance, you can't make the argument. Where flip side, we said if Jordan does it and that becomes a 3-headed monster race, that he can't control that narrative quite as well.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So let's talk Tribunal. So let's talk Tribunal. Personally, usually I'm against this. I was for Michelle just sort of letting taking the narrative into her own hands. She knew she was going to be the one that was thrown in because Kylan is most likely banking on it being something physical or where weight and size would have more of an advantage in the elimination. So he's going to pick Michelle to go in. So she sort of just takes that burden off his hands, because now in the world where she came back, there's no animosity between the two of them because she's already expecting it. She essentially okays it, and he's even in confessional be like, well, if she comes back, like, look, she essentially took a bullet here and allowed me to have no blood on my hands.
Do we think that was the right move, though? Because I understand why he would have picked Michelle thinking that it's solely physical based, just going. But Nia's bigger than Olivia, and Olivia doesn't have the puzzle acumen that Michelle does, which is why I think it was...
Yeah. That's where I was going with it, where he was calling out Bananas for being dumb because, like, you should have known that the winner of the daily was going to be safe. Well, Kyland, you should have been smart enough to know that ever since the first round, there's really only been one physical elimination since. Since the big 4 rounds, there's been, like, one actual hand-on-hand, you're being physical with each other elimination. Everything else has been a puzzle, a crapshoot, math. Like, what are you thinking? Like, I truly think if he was even in confessional saying, like, oh, Michelle's actually would be, like, my number 1 here, you throw Olivia down there. And if you lose Olivia, it's not really the end of the world for you if she goes.
Yeah, I think the only reason why Kyland picked Michelle to go down over Olivia, because in my mind, if you want your girl to come back, you put Olivia down there.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Just because Nia is bigger, but also the aspect of Michelle's good at puzzles and math. The only reason why I see him not putting Olivia down there is because he also didn't want to piss off Theo.
And what's Theo going to do? Go to the kitchen? Like,
exactly. Which at this point in the game, if you're really sizing people up, you're sitting there being like, why would I be afraid of the guy that's coming in last place every time?
Yeah, exactly. And it's not like, oh, you can anticipate that a perch is going to come in and potentially solve your problems for you anyway. But it's like,
yeah,
why? Like, for Kyland, who's always thinking more so for what's like the TV moment for him, what's the like best move for him, he shouldn't be thinking about what needs to help other people.
I think as much as he thinks about TV moments, he really sucks at creating them.
Yeah.
Let's just be honest about it. Like, for somebody who is so wildly obsessed with trying to create TV moments, he really sucks at creating them. Like, I think he's still in the mindset that TV moments on the challenge are created the same way they are in a Big Brother sense, which is talking strategy and all that stuff. No, it's not. TV moments are made by either blow-ups or or a move that isn't what everybody's expecting.
Mm-hmm. Or it's just like, oh, I will kick everyone's ass in every single daily and beat like your goats in the final, like, and without even thinking about it. It's just like, oh, Jordan's here, gonna beat him. Johnny's here, gonna beat him. Like, it's just doing it. Like,
what's his long-term plan though? Because his 3, come at this point, his 3 number, or I guess 1 through 3 women were all 3 of the 4 people that couldn't make it onto the ladder. So what exactly, how does he think he's going to stay safe moving forward?
Maybe he'll finally like befriend some of the other women, or he's just ready and thinks the TV moments is going to be him having to fight the world in elimination because, my buddy, it's coming.
Sorry, go ahead, Paul.
I don't know. I think he thought the TV moments were going to come from him always nominating to be a target, so he looks like, oh, what a badass. And I think he thought that the TV moments were going to come with winning eliminations and then putting targets out there, which also he never really did anything to make it wild with that. You know what I mean?
He picked Jenny.
Yeah, he picked Jenny that one time. and you know what? I bet Jenny was loving that entire experience because she's like, not only is it these 2 girls that the guys on my team would constantly protect over me, Now it's the guy who consistently nominated me who has to pick between all of his girls, and she just gets to say her piece and then just sit there.
Yeah, Jenny was in her glory. You know, the challenge has a way of putting you in those kind of positions. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It was just great because, you know, it's ultimately Kylan's decision. So she's kind of just there. And so I don't blame her for coming right out. Be like, I'm going to take my 2 minutes to say what I got to say. And then whatever y'all want to do for the rest of the chamber, that's fine. But I'm getting heard.
I love how defensive they all get. Because, like, one, they're like, no, this isn't your moment. We're not letting it be your moment. It's our moment. But it's like, why would you say this to us? And I'm like, if I'm Jay, I'm like, do you want the laundry list? Like, sure. Like, I will dock her on not playing a social game because she does. Because if you're not gonna play a social game, especially with the men, like you can't just rely on the fact that like, oh, I'm like a physical beast at these challenges. They're obviously gonna want to keep me. They need to know that they can work with you.
Her social game is bananas.
Like, look. Yeah, exactly.
That's Jenny's
and
social game.
She can't. And you know what? Maybe it will work for her. It worked for her in Total Madness. She gets her win. Maybe it works again for her here and she gets another one. Who knows? But it's like, I'm gonna say my piece because y'all constantly fucked me over. All of you know that what I can bring to our team, yet you guys consistently wouldn't either share that responsibility or consistently put me in danger. So now y'all can be in danger.
I love how they got upset at her too. And I'm like,
yeah,
credit to her for like, you know, actually being like, oh no, that's fair. Like I would have been, oh, Jenny, you could have eaten that up even more, honey. Like even more. Like you could have just poured it on, right? Like at that point, the lines are drawn in the sand. You guys aren't working together. You know?
Exactly. Ultimately, I'm like, why do you want why are you wanting kindness from me when y'all consistently put me in harm's way? Like, I ain't giving you anything. Like, y'all need to earn your way back in, just like you guys consistently made me have to earn my way to just stay here.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I don't know. Anything else on the chamber? I mean, the elimination. Once again, I feel like the eliminations are just.
I can understand why that would be, I guess, the basis of something like that being an elimination, because it is difficult, because it's endurance, it's using your brain. But I don't understand how no one said out loud there, being like, well, how's this going to look on TV?
It was boring.
It's awful to watch on TV.
Like, and if you miss, like, the intro of, like, how you are, like, figuring out the locks, like, you don't understand why they're doing math. Like, you don't actually understand it. It's not shown. You just see a bunch of chalk lines, and you're like, oh, this is what I missed. You're like, you're not really displaying to viewers what you're missing, what's causing you to figure this out. And then just watching people drag boxes. Like, cool. Then we could have just made it the tire comp from that USA season, or where they just moved a bunch of fucking tires. It's like, make it a little bit easier. But the outside that, the other thing of note was the one thing I'll dock Jordan on in his game so far was like, when you have Nia not believing your bullshit, like that's actually a little small hit here, where all you have to say is like, Johnny's just speaking bullshit of, we have known each other forever. Of course you're in my top 4. He could have done a little more to just put Nia at ease, instead of Nia then being like, well, yeah, I might put him up now.
Yeah, but once again, I think Jordan's at this point where he also weighs people in. He's clocking everybody's performance. You know what I mean? Like, he knows he's got Tori protecting him. He knows he's got Rachel protecting him. Kara's not going after him. He really was covered by anybody who had a possibility of winning a daily. You know what I mean? So, like, it gets to a point in the game where you really just don't care. You know what I mean? Like, you know who's winning the dailies, you know who's not. There's a point where you don't care.
Right, and it should there come a point, though, if you're one of the players who aren't winning, that you become, like, a little more cognizant of, sure, like if we're all in the game together, and Paulie's winning everything, I'm losing everything and Dan's sort of in that middle spot. If Dan ever has a moment where he's like, oh, well, I have to put someone in between you two, he's going to put me in because I'm losing everything and I'm not bringing anything valuable to the table other than I'm your friend.
Yeah. I think that's just where it's at is Jordan, he was looking at it being like, all right, even if I get put a target, as long as I don't come in last, which you'd find it hard to believe that Jordan's going to come in last. And not that it's impossible because you never know what the DQs are, but just going off probability, all right, Jordan's not losing a daily. So that means someone like a Tori, a Rachel, Jenny, Laurel, like they would have to put him in where it's unlikely.
Yeah, so the only people that are going to put him in, and really, I feel like Michelle, in a way, only puts Jordan in, one, because she knows Jordan wouldn't pick her, but two, if you're going to put Bananas in elimination, you want to put other people as targets that you believe would have an upper hand over him in most eliminations. Because it's not like Bananas
Don't do what Tori did.
Yeah, don't do what Tori did of putting just all the air to people because it was the easy move, and then also letting Jonny know in advance that he was going in. Like, make him feel uncomfortable. And you make him uncomfortable by putting two other strong men as options. And then if he's not just the loser, keep him on his toes. Keep him on his toes and make him think there may be a chance he can get by. Let him say whatever he wants to say to you to try to finagle his way out of it, thinking he got the upper hand. Just be like, get to the sand, be like, okay, Bananas, you're going in. Let him go.
Yeah, so, I mean, I understand it's a small critique of Jordan's game because...
Very, very small, I have to emphasize.
Because we haven't really seen many blemishes on his game up to this point. But, I mean, that is fair. But I think for him, he also doesn't want to kind of be, I guess, more on Banana's shit list of being like, oh, Jordan has all these number ones. I think at this point he's like, I know I have 4 good people. I obviously don't want to be pressed on who those 4 are. But there's a 95% chance that one of those 4 people is going to win every single time, especially the way that Tori's been competing this season.
Absolutely.
100%. And it also this goes back to why what Jonny did was so brilliant, is because if you are stupid enough to like actually like name your people like openly and out front, and like, you know, if he gave Nia really like anything to work with, like that could actually cause way more damage than the way he handled it. You know what I mean? So like, yeah, you know, he got put on Nia's shit list, but he ultimately protected himself from the much scarier girls that he had in his lineup. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Because like when you really think about it, Tori, Rachel, but we're forgetting Laurel, right? So he was good on Kara's side, but Laurel's also one of the ones protecting him. And, you know, when you really look at it, Rachel's probably solid, but this is probably his first time really like truly playing with her this long. Tori, 100% solid. Laurel, all it takes is if somebody has the right kind of information to leverage it, bring it to her, and she sits there and is like, well, I thought I was protected by Jordan, but nope, you're in, because she will make that move.
Yeah, I mean, he was trying to get her thrown into that, one of the last rounds of the teams. Like, when she was in, like, after she did everything to save him, he was trying to throw her in. But, you know, we'll see if people actually change their colors. I guess how I want to end this one is, we know there's a purge next week. Like, how do we think it's going to play out? Like, Paulie, I don't know how much you know, so I'm going to let Dan speak on it.
So if we're picking 2 people that are going to go home.
One guy, one girl.
So that's the other thing, I guess, not really taken into account, because there's a mini final next week, and I was like, okay, Jordan has a 75% chance of winning the mini final and just taking his name completely off of the list entirely. But for who's going home, I don't know how you don't, like you brought it up earlier, Alex. I don't know how you look at anyone other than Theo just because of how bad he's been. Because so there's no Arrow 1 men left. It's not going to be Johnny. It's not going to be Derek because Derek's cardio. Like you can knock Derek for a lot of things. This is not the elimination or daily that he loses. You go to Era 3, and Nehemiah, Miss Nehemiah. Don't think it would be Nehemiah purging. Corey's a pretty good daily runner, as long as he doesn't screw himself on a puzzle, which is possible. Make-Bot is very possible. But as long as he doesn't, you can time out option. I don't see it being Corey. It's not Jordan. I don't think it's Josh, so I think it's got to be Theo. And then on the women's side, I'll make it a little bit shorter. I got Olivia. She sucked at everything she's done this season, so...
Yeah,
if I
she's
had
sort
to
of
guess,
been
I would
off
say
her
her.
game.
I know Michelle did bad 2 dailies ago, and that's why she had the time penalty. But I think she's starting to ramp up. She was a little bit down, kicked with Devin going home and everything. But I think now seeing where the lines stand with Bananas, she knows who she needs to lock in with. I think she's ramping it back up. I don't think she's any, threat of winning the daily. But I'd see middle of the pack. So if I had to pick a woman, I'd say Olivia.
I'm going with Theo for sure because he is clearly the worst guy right now. And I actually would say Michelle because she almost got heat stroke in the last thing that was like a lot of running.
Daily, yeah.
Right? The last daily that was a lot of running, and this is a mini final. So I think that she's going to be struggling a bit.
Oh,
No,
for sure.
That's completely fair.
Yeah.
What do you got,
and
Alex?
I'm gonna stamp it down. I'm sorry. I shouldn't say I'm sorry. Theo, you're going home next week. One way or another, you are going home. If it's not from the purge, you will be in elimination. I just have a feeling on this one. For the girls is so much harder because I feel like it's so circumstantial. Like I do agree the Era 4 girls are at risk, but let's remove them from the table right now, and we look at the rest of the women. So essentially Cara and then the Bananas Angels of it all. I don't think it'll be Rachel. I don't think it'll be Cara.
It's not
so
Tori.
then it would leave between Aviv and Laurel. But the one thing we always hear about Laurel is people don't actually truly believe in her endurance when it comes to running in a final. So if it was if you separated the Era 4, I think it would be between Aviv and Laurel. So it'd be, do you believe that she doesn't have endurance versus how severe is the foot injury for Aviv? So it's one of those two or Era 4 for me.
That's fair because it's not Rachel, it's not Tori. I think those are the two that I'm willing to say.
I didn't even say Tori because I just know she's gonna be fine.
Because I think those are the two that are not, and as disappointing as it has been, maybe the last few challenges, I wouldn't have the heart to say that it'd be Cara, so I'd put her on the safe list as well.
No,
and that's not because Paulie's here. We've been called Cara stands long before that. So
yeah, we're the Cara apologist podcast as we were known during All Stars 4. But I just believe in her when it comes to an endurance final challenge. So I would expect Cara to actually. I would even go as far as say she might be top 2 finisher in this mini final.
I think it's her. I think I would say top 3 being Cara,
Tori, Jenny, Rachel.
Oh, I wasn't even thinking about Jenny, but I assume Jenny's safe in this as well.
Yeah. It'll be interesting, folks. But these past 2 episodes have been bringing it. I'm hoping next week keeps bringing this energy, this drama, this fire. The dailies have been good, so hopefully this mini final really brings it. But I'm having a blast.
Yeah. I've liked the past 2 episodes. I hope it stays on this trajectory.
Yes, we need to stay on this trajectory, and we need, especially the Tories of the world. Johnny, we know, has it in him, but Tori, you have this feeling of what it's like to be entertaining TV again. You once were, you found the light again. Don't forget it. You want to take off, that's fine. I get it. She's been doing a lot of seasons. Remember this feeling. Harness it and hold on to it.
I agree.
Cherish it always.
But any final thoughts, anything to plug from either of you?
No?
We're in Long Island, meet and greet tomorrow. Come see it.
Yes.
It'll be a good time, as always.
Yeah. If you've missed it, Paulie will be with Zach Nichols for Zach Nichols' podcast. It's him, Cara, Zach, and Jenna, I believe. So I don't see how that's
that'll
not
be
an
a
awesome
time.
time.
Jenna finally making an appearance.
She's finally making an appearance.
Well, there we go. So if you're in Long Island, go see Paulie, Cara, Zach, and Jenna tomorrow night. That'll wrap it up for us. As always, we appreciate everyone listening, watching, however you're getting your podcast at. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe. Hit the bell. That way you get notified every time we go live. If you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts at, please like, review, give us 5 stars. It helps us out tremendously. We don't really care what you say in those 5 stars. You can shit on us if you want. Just, help us out here. You're listening. You clearly enjoy it. We're a good challenge podcast. And then, as always, the best way to support the podcast is become a patron at realitypatron.com. Sign up for a month. If not, Johnny will give you your money back. And just make sure you're staying tuned to the Reality After Show Network. I think we have podcasts coming out 6 days a week now, and about 10 of them. So no matter what your show is, we're covering it somehow. So make sure to stay tuned, and we'll see y'all next week.